Today we are gonna talk about the constraints on natural selection and adaptive evolution. I'm Jaehyun Yu.
And I'm Darshana Vakharia.
Okay, first we will briefly review the principles of natural selection. First, individuals within a species are variable. Second, traits are heritable and passed on to offspring. And third, some individuals sometimes survive and reproduce more than others. The last thing is next generation is not a random subset of previous generation. Is it a real beer on Google?
There are there are a number of constraints to natural selection. The ones that we are going to talk about are the lack of genetic variation and trade-offs. There are the ones that we want to focus on are the allocation trade-off and functional trade-off.
If there is a lower diversity in a gene, it means this is lower resistance to disease. And genetic diversity, if there is genetic diversity, it means ability to adapt to a changing environment.
The key to a survival of a species is its ability to fight new diseases. However, a lack of genetic variation would severely hinder adaptation, as in the case of the Tasmanian devil. Despite its relatively large population size, this species lacks a significant variation in a key immune gene region that has made it susceptible to DFTD, devil facial tumor disease. DFTD is fatal, and this species does not have the genetic tools to combat the disease. It is spreading at an alarming rate, and the population size is shrinking rapidly. When a species becomes so that was genetic variation, loss of genetic variation, and another factor is a restricted niche. When a species becomes confined to an area for food or breeding, or on account of physical barriers, there can be a loss of purifying selection. This, in addition to an accumulation of mutations that could become fixed due to drift, can translate into decreasing evolutionary potential of the species in the face of a changing environment.
And the second one is the first one of trade-off is allocation trade-off. Because of the limitation of budget, we should choose between clothes and beer. If we buy too much beer or clothes, we cannot buy the other thing. And the next example is if we eat everything we want, like too much sweets, we cannot get the nice body like Kate Moss.
Functional trade-off is when an increased benefit in one context could decrease the benefit in another. The example I'm going to talk about is the giant water bug. These are predators that have an advantage in being really big in size. However, to achieve this size, they need to begin right at the beginning, which is when they start laying eggs. In order to lay, their benefit is in laying bigger eggs. However, the cost to bigger eggs was an additional investment in parental care. Brooding behavior evolved as a cost for bigger eggs. The males in this species carry the eggs and on their backs and care for them. However, carrying the eggs on their back make them unattractive to females and they reproduce less. Not only that, it severely inhibits their mobility. This can also expose them to predation. Therefore, the benefit of having a bigger egg size is linked to the decrease in mobility and reproduction. Trade-offs represent a beneficial change in one trait, but it is linked to a detrimental change in another at the same time.
These are our references. Goodbye.